with Diamond Dinosaur. Grab your kit, let's craft and score. Big dog barks and football plays. Diamond Dinosaur.
Guys, it's Mary Lee, the Diamond Dinosaur 33, coming at you from my craft room. It's a happy day today, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But first of all, how is everyone today? I hope everyone is well. I'm coming at you on a Thursday morning because, hey, I'm off today because I'm on rotation for the weekends. We all know how I feel about that. So, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you love it here. I hope I make you feel welcome. And please like and subscribe. Hit that notification thumbs up button. All the works. Y'all know what you're supposed to be doing. Come on now. If you found me, you know what you're supposed to be doing. If you're returning to watch me, remember I love you, appreciate you, and thank you so much for stopping by today. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I'm working with. I am working on Dinosaur Battle. Go figure. Diamond Dinosaur 33. Doing a diamond painting canvas of a dinosaur. Whoop, whoop. Yay. As the theme from Jurassic Park is playing in my brain. The only tool I'm going to mention today is probably my pen. This pen is one from a gator block. It was done in Kelly green and silver to represent my eagles. But because of the scaling to it, the way it looks like it's like scales on it, or gator, I forget what they're called, but they're like those bone pieces, you know what I mean. Looks like a dinosaur to me. So that's why I'm using this pen. I'm using some alien putty for the first time. A friend of mine gave this to me when I was at the RVA Sizzling Summer Retreat, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, let's get right into it. Let me pick a color that I want to work on. It's a little awkward because I have everything upside down or sideways. Okay, so the reason I'm in such a good mood today is my husband and I are kind of, this is the day that the final piece to our recent home renovations that have taken place over the year, I guess, a little bit, like things that we've gotten for the house, is taking place today. So it is the end of an era. We're getting a new oil tank, yay, for our heater. Having some other issues just fixed from the heater and a good cleaning. And everybody loves to hear that in August, right? How about no? No one wants to hear that bullshit in August. We're in the middle of a heat wave. Why are you talking about your heater? Well, because it has to get done. And better now than before the season starts. So if you hear some rumbling and thumping or whatever, it's because I have some workers here and they're doing their shtick. Another reason to be extremely happy for me is today marks the start of preseason football. Woo! Yay! I am so happy. Y'all know I love football. Football is my passion. I love it. Not even gonna lie, if I was born a boy, yeah, I'd probably be retired now because I would have been playing some football. So I can tell you this, I have, let me bring up my stats, right? Because I'm old and I don't have a memory like I used to. Oh, of course, it'd be great if I could open my iPad. So we actually have a bunch of games between now and Saturday. So today's games, the games that I say are local means you can only watch them on their local affiliate channel. So Detroit at Cincinnati, Green Bay at Pittsburgh, that's going to be shown on NFL Network. The Detroit and Cincinnati are local. Indianapolis and New England are local. The Los Angeles Chargers and the Houston Texans will be locally televised. The Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders will be locally televised. And the Tennessee Titans against the San Francisco 49ers will be on NFL Network tonight. I'm not going to go back and watch all these preseason games. I will watch the one that's on at 7 between the Packers and the Steelers and the Titans and the Niners. I'll watch both of those, but the rest are locally. So I would have to go back tomorrow and watch them, or tonight and watch them on NFL Network, but on NFL Plus. But I probably won't do that because it's just preseason. And as my friends like to say, nobody really gives a crap about preseason. I don't know why you fancy it so much. I enjoy watching preseason because it gives me an opportunity to see how the rookies and the free agents that were drafted or picked up from the Philadelphia Eagles, I can actually see how they're going to work in the scheme of the defense and the offense and yada, yada, yada. So that's why I will be watching. That's why I like preseason. But tomorrow, you're going to have the Broncos and the Falcons and the Dolphins and the Commanders, and they're going to be locally televised. And then the only game on NFL Network is going to be the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New York Jets. And then Saturday's games, you're going to have the Carolina Panthers, Buffalo Bills, Minnesota Vikings, New York Giants, Jacksonville Jaguars, New Orleans Saints. They're all going to be locally televised. So you have that. And then you're going to have the Cleveland Browns, Chicago against Chicago Bears, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Dallas Cowboys, against the Seattle Seahawks, and they're going to be on, and those three will be on NFL Network. And then locally televised for me will be the Saturday night game, which is, it's one of the Saturday night games, but it's the most important Saturday night game. Go Birds! Will be the Philadelphia Eagles against the Baltimore Ravens. Again, shout out to the Ravens for having a really amazing stadium. I love their stadium. M&T Stadium is pretty amazing. And I like it because I'm kind of a dark type of person, and the Baltimore Ravens. They have 3 mascots, and their names, I believe, are Edgar, Allan, and Poe, and they're all Ravens, wearing Ravens jerseys. So they also have their own area in their stadium for a marching band. So they have their own marching band that sits right on the field, and they play just like you're at a college game. It's or a high school football game even. It's just hilarious. But yeah, so football is back. I'm excited, super, super excited. I'm super, super stoked for my Philadelphia Eagles and this new offense. From everything that I have been seeing in training camp, all my players are bought in. And yes, I say my players like I own them, but I do not. My quarterback, though, Jalen Hurts, definitely looks like he's all in for this offense. He's slimmed down a bit, not that he ever needed to. But I think we're all going to be just fine without A.J. Brown. I'm very glad that wide receiver Darius Cooper, who we picked up last year in the draft, is playing really well. I liked him when we drafted him. I wish he would have been able to get some more reps, but we had the diva A.J. Brown and all that other bullshit going on. So I just consider last year a freaking wash because it was just a disaster. I mean, we had a good season. We played well. We got to the playoffs, but, we lost. But anywho, I digress. It's a new season. It's a new year. Let's go. I can't wait. First actual game of the season is September 13th at Lincoln Financial Field against the Washington Commanders. I know most people say, no, don't call them that. They're the Redskins. Well, it is what it is. So I will be at that game, and I'm gonna buy myself something nice because that's my birthday weekend. So whoop whoop, excited for that. A few other highlights. I know Devontae Smith, our wide receiver 1, and our number 1 draft pick this year, Mekhi Lemon, really not been practicing because they're out with some hamstring issues. Devontae, I think, though, he's probably going to be ready to play on Saturday. But the Eagles are known to not play their starters. And I got to be honest, I understand why they don't do that, because you don't want to jeopardize, one of your star players getting hurt in a preseason game and then not having them for the year. However, this is why you have practice, and this is why you plan for that shit. So I get a little bit irritated because now you're pretty much not letting them play in pads against another team until the opening game. And, now they got to work off all this rust. So I'd rather them play, even if it's only for like maybe a couple of plays in the beginning of the game. But unfortunately, that's just not how the Eagles work. I do think Vic Fangio, our defense coordinator, our defensive coach, our defense coordinator, I do believe he has said that you will have some starting players play this Saturday. He's a huge proponent of that. So they may only do a couple reps, but they'll probably play. So we'll see. So go Birds, let's go. You know where I'll be. Well, tonight I'll be probably here. Again, the preseason games don't really count for much for me. Well, for most people. I mean, I'm interested in the Eagles because I follow them heavily in the draft and free agency. So I want to see how all that's gonna play out. So I will definitely probably be here watching the games tonight on my phone, depending on what the spirit says to me. Whatever. So let me see what else is new and exciting going on in my life. Oh my God, guys, new and exciting. Okay, so ever since I got my craft room, and you can't really see my setup, but right to the direct right of me, that way, is a window. And it goes out into my backyard. And I noticed last summer and fall, we had quite a few birds out there. So I said to my husband, oh, I think I want to get a bird feeder and put it in the yard, like a standing bird feeder. Not one on a pole, just one freestanding. And he got it for me, and it's got a feeding bowl on it, it's got a bird bath on it, and it's got a little bird house. So my daughter's boyfriend, he put it all together for me, and he put it out in the yard. So I've been watching my birds, and I've been attracting quite a few birds. I have a lot of finches, though, and sparrows, but I've gotten a couple cardinals, some blue jays, some grackles, which I love grackles. Just started getting some cowbirds, so that's fun. So I find myself really intrigued by these birds that are flying around in my yard now. So then I had to buy another bird feeder, and one's hanging on a pole, and it's like my daughter likes to call it the Bird McMansion, because it looks like one of those big old mansions that you have down the shore along the beach. And this one has solar panels, so it lights up in the night, so all the windows glow like there's someone in there. So I have that one, and then I wanted to get another one. And my husband's like, why don't you just get the one with the camera? And I was like, really? Like, I didn't think he wanted me to get the one with the camera. So he said, no, go ahead and get it. And I gotta tell you, I am living my best life. Like right now, I could feel like I'm retired. I'm diamond painting and watching the birds. So this is what my retirement's gonna probably be. So I'm in early retirement. Let's just call it that. When I'm not working, I'm retired. Yeah, so I can't stop watching the live camera of my birdies. So that's fun and exciting. Yay. Yay, yay. What else? Still not doing that FOMO for Dak. Not falling for that shit. You know what? They're just getting worse and worse. Like now what they did with that mystery kit page, that's just wrong. It's just wrong. Just, again, not going to sit here and shit on their product. Their product is amazing. Customer service, if you needed drills or you had a problem with a can, well, I'm going to say I've never had a problem reaching out to customer service for additional drills. But some people now are starting to see that there's a problem with customer service. So I'm trying really super hard not to even deal with them at all. I mean, I'm, again, living my best life. I found my niche. I found my love for diamond painting again. So much so that I know you guys have heard me talk about it. I'm going to be doing the 27 in 27. But I will be doing 27 dragons in 27. I'm also going to be doing the Mega Challenge, where I'm doing that 200 centimeter kit. And for that, I'm going to be doing Spectrum of Dragons. So I can double dip to both events. Other than that, doing the Ricari event. So special shout out to my friend over at Shenanigans with the Bergs and Diamond Painting Around the World, because Diamond Painting Around the World is doing an Ricari event, a paint along, so to speak. So it starts September 1st. And you have to do a Ricari kit. It has to be Ricari. There's just no other way. It has to be Ricari. So that's fun. I can't wait. But we're also doing, I believe, I'm going to go look right now real quick. There's another event attached to that Ricari event from Diamond Painting Around the World. Let me just find it. Where is it? Ricari Kit Up Party. The Diamond Painting Around the World hosts the group event kickoff. So Diamond Painting Around the World is hosting the group event kickoff, which is Monday, August 31st. It starts at 4 o'clock, and it's going to be on the Monday Zoom that Diamond Painting Around the World does every Monday. So be on the lookout if you're in this group and you're going to participate in the Ricari. Y over at Diamond Painting Around the World, she'll definitely, send that link out. So yeah, it's the Ricari event kickoff. So we're going to be able to kit up our Ricaris. So that being said, my Ricari, I have 2 Ricaris kitted up right now. So right now I have the Plague Doctor, or just the Plague. I have that kit, and I have my custom Godzilla, which is huge. So I'm probably going to, I think I'm going to work on Godzilla because I kitted it up when I first got it. I've been wanting to work on it so badly. I just have had other WIPs out there that I want to finish first. So I'm probably going to start working on Godzilla. But we'll see. My mind could change between now and then. So that's that for the Ricari event. So I'll remember Diamond Painting Around the World on Facebook. You can get your information there. I love Ricari. I have 2 more Ricari canvases coming. They're out there. I did order, I know you guys saw the video. I'm probably going to do a video of my 2 tarot cards because they're so big, and I've changed up the way that I do my unboxings now because some of these canvases, because they're so detailed, they're just so big, I can no longer do them on my counter. I will continue to open my pens and my trays and stuff like that on my counter, but any bigger canvases, I'm going to do them by differently. And I've been thinking for quite some time with my channel, which is, I think I want to do reviews because I love doing unboxings, but at the end of the day, what does it matter if you unbox it and you never show the finished product, right? So it's probably starting in 27 because I want to figure out a way that's going to be cool for me to remember it. So whether that's jotting it down in a journal so I know what I unboxed and then I can do it and do the review. I got to figure out a way I want to do it. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I just made the decision today that I'm probably going to start doing that on my channel after the first of the year. So I think that would be fun, Hey, here's part 1, and hey, here's part 2. I've never really done a review, but I definitely feel like I need to start doing that. So, yeah. So, other than that, let me see. I booked my room for the RVA Sizzling Summer Retreat 2027. I paid for my retreat for both myself and my daughter because she went with me and she had a blast. She just had a blast. They treated her like she was her own person and not just Mary Lee's daughter. Now, she is an adult. She is 28 years old. But, she's part of the group that I got into first. And they don't treat her like she's my daughter. They just treat her like she's Alexis. And that's amazing. So I want to thank each and every one of them. They know who they are, who opened up their arms and their heart to her. And it made her feel really, really good and really, really loved and really, really important. And like she has a really strong friend group right now. So I want to thank each and every one of you for that. And again, you all know who you are. And no, I'm not crying over here. I do have allergies. My allergies are bothering me today. That damn nettle gets me too, just like freaking ragweed. I woke up this morning, my eyes were stuck shut and red and swollen and ew, just disgusting. I already had to take Benadryl before I even rolled out of bed almost. Like seriously, I just need an IV drip of Benadryl apparently. Is that even possible? I mean, I guess. You go into the hospital, they do give you like a shot of Benadryl in your IV. Yeah, I guess. You just don't want a constant IV drip of Benadryl. However, I feel like I need to do that. And right now, a squirrel is climbing up the side of my bird feeder. Oh my God. That's a disaster, but whatever. Okay, so I have been on for 20 minutes. 20 minutes and going strong. Woo, yay. I'm trying to do this before, I want to get everything out that I have to say before they really start banging and stuff in the basement, because they're doing some work on my heater, cleaning it out and all that kind of good stuff. So I definitely want to get that done, get it done before they really get moving on that. So yeah, but I'm having a good time with this dinosaur kit though, really. Like, I really enjoy doing it. Of course, it's a Diamond Art Club, so it's going together really easily and really quickly. But it is an older Diamond Art Club kit, so it actually does have a couple of, crappy drills in it that I've come across. But other than that, it's coming together nice. Because, I do love me some dinos. I love when people say, dinosaurs aren't real. And I just go, you shut your mouth and don't talk to me for 10 minutes. I thought we were friends. I feel very attacked when people say that to me. I really feel verbally attacked. I can't handle that kind of pressure. I can't. I cannot. Oh my God, you guys. I also saw this video. It was just a reel, right, on Facebook. I don't know who did it. I didn't think about it, but I knew I couldn't share it because I just couldn't, because I'll just want to watch it the entire time. This woman says she woke up with the thought. So think about this, and I'm gonna tag off of her thought with the same thing though. But just put this question out there to you. When dinosaurs roamed the earth, we still had bad weather. We still had tornadoes, right? And if so, can you just imagine seeing, like, close your eyes and picture this, or tornado is spinning, a huge F5. And within that F5 is a huge brachiosaurus with a long neck just spinning and spinning because it's stuck in the tornado. Can you imagine? Like, I wonder if that ever happened. Think about that. That girl was right. When she posted that reel today and I read that, I had to stop and think about it. Now, we all know that probably never happened because of the weight of the brachiosaurus. But maybe it didn't pick it up and spin it. But what did it do to its neck and its head? Like, did the neck get stuck in the wind tunnel and maybe snap its... I don't know. Thoughts to ponder, though, right? Thoughts to ponder. Yeah. I thought that was hilarious when I read it. When I watched it, I couldn't stop watching it. I'm like, oh my God, this could be a real thing. Like, she could be onto something here. She really could. Interesting. So, what else was I going to talk about? I think I had some other stuff to talk about. I talked about my birds. Talked about football. Love me some football. I'm almost done this color. I think I am done this color. I am. Met some new people on the Zoom retreat a week-long 24/7, 7 days Zoom retreat. So that was fun and exciting. Who doesn't like meeting new friends? I mean, usually me most cases, but sometimes it's fun though to meet new friends. It is fun to meet new friends. And what a better way to meet them than in the comfort of your own home, and you don't have to go anywhere and be social with anyone else. It's amazeballs. Amazeballs. Because at the end of the day, who the hell wants to do that? I don't want to go out and leave the house. Ever. There's people outside. I don't want to be around that shit. I do have a couple of ghost stories for you guys today. So I'm going to probably lay down this color and grab my book, and we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it. I definitely don't think I'm going to finish this today. I do want to finish this section or this row. And then I think I'm going to go back and work on my Paintly with my Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. And then I'll come back to this, finish this, finish Frankenstein, finish this, and then try to catch up maybe on my temperature chart. Because then the only two WIPs I have are my custom of Puffy, my puppers, who passed, and my temperature chart. And I really don't count my temperature chart because it's a year-long thing. So I mean, I have all my information written down. I'll show you. This is how I do it. So I just go into my weather app on my phone. And my daughter bought me this planner just for this reason. And I just write down the lows and the highs for each day. So I have everything written down through the 21st, which is next week. So, and I think I finished May. So I have June, July, and August. So I think what I'm going to do is do June, July, and August. I'll do them once August is over. And then I'll only have to worry about September, October, November, December. So, and it kind of goes together really quickly. So, I mean, I kind of feel like I'd rather do like a couple of months at a time because of, having to stop and do the background and then the bottles. So I'll probably do that. So there's that. Actually, I was just talking before I started this. I, asked the guys if they needed anything that are doing the oil tank, and the other guys doing the work on my heater, and they're good. So I was talking to one of them right before I started my WIP, and he said that we had gotten a lot of soot and stuff into our heater again, and he said that he thinks the reason was because there were several birds that had gotten down into the chimney, and that's kind of died there. So of course I'm ready to start crying, so I'm looking at all my little birdies out in the yard, and I'm sure it happens. He didn't sound too surprised, so it probably happens to everybody, but still, it doesn't mean my heart isn't broken for my little birdie friends. Actually, I don't even look at these things as birds, because the way I see them walk around on their feet, and just walk around and chill and things like that. I swear to God, I'm like, oh my God, they're like little teeny raptors, velociraptors, with feathers. So they're like, they literally are like little dinosaurs the way they walk. I can't get enough of it. I can't. I love them so much. I told my daughter, give me 6 months. I'll be going out in the yard and they'll be following me around like I'm their own personal chef. I mean, I don't even know how many times you're supposed to feed them. Like, I only fill the feeders once a day now. Sometimes I'll do it in the evening. It depends on when they run out during the day. But yeah, I tried suet for the first time. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really feel like they're eating it. So, I don't know. But I'm almost got this color laid down. Almost. Just this little bit here. Oh, and by the way, I've also been I've been trying the Javi coffee for the protein coffee. I had to pause the video for a moment because my heater guy needed me for something. They have to bleed all the radiators, but he told me that they found 7 to 10 birds in my chimney. So yeah, so there's that. So he's bleeding the radiators, so he'll come back around. So I'm going to, they're going to start banging a little bit. So I'm going to try to finish this color up as quickly as I can so I can go on to a ghost story. And actually, you know, let me not even take that chance. So, let me get my book, and we're gonna go. Okay. So again, this is from Ghosts in the Valley, a book I had as a child. And I've been checking off the stories that I've read. So this one, I was gonna try and do 2. And I think I can still do that. So this one is called the George School Ghost. So the George School is a private school, Quaker school, it used to be. It's about 20 minutes from here. Actually right down the street from the hospital that I work at. Or work for, I should say. In Newtown, Langhorne, Newtown area. So, okay. So this is called the George School Ghost. Let me get a drink. Drinky drink. Okay, thousands of quick-stepping, bright-eyed students have been crossing and recrossing the wide reaches of the George School campus in Newtown, Pennsylvania for generations. The scene is a familiar one to the countless number of people who have driven past the school on Route 413 since the earliest days. But how many of these casual walkers and drivers have seen a little-known corner of the George School campus, a recess hidden from the casual eye, the basement of the revolutionary Tate House, and have seen it not in the bland hours of daylight, but in the very heavy-lidded, heart-stopping blackness of nighttime? Warning, let only the heroes try it, and when the visit is made, carry the largest, stoutest candle that will burn the truest flame, for there will be the difficulty. When a certain spot on the basement floor is passed, beneath which a body lies buried, it is said, the candle flame will go out and the intruder will find himself alone in the damp darkness with only a thread of a shiver to recall that he is still alive. Who lies in this restless, chill-shrouded grave? The story goes back to the Revolutionary days. A Dr. James Tate inherited the handsome stone house from his father, Anthony Tate, who had purchased the tract in Newtown in 1756. Anthony died just a matter of months after the close of the Revolution in 1781, and the doctor took over as master. Dr. Tate was an officer in the Continental Army, serving as an army physician. Once the war was over, he could turn his attention to his first interest, the field of medical research. Finding a body upon which one could conduct experiments was a prime difficulty in those days. Many times guards were hired to watch over a tomb after a burial to guard it from desecration. But Dr. Tate had a particularly favorable circumstance. A Hessian soldier, one of the prisoners kept at Newtown during the war, had died and was buried nearby. There had not ever been a soul to shed a tear, drop a spray of flowers, nor care even to glance at the grave of this hireling from abroad. Here, then, was the doctor's built-in anatomy study waiting for him. In the dead of night, he exhumed the forgotten Hessian and carried him into his laboratory room. Here he dissected the body under shroud of darkness, with only the wan lights of tapers glistening over his hands as he worked. When he was done, he buried the soldier's remains in a shallow grave he hastily dug in the earthen floor of his basement, and he forgot the whole matter. But the Hessian did not. The legend became a literally breathing one. For all the subsequent generations to follow, the experience of any visitor to the basement of the Tate house was the same. A lighted candle carried across the spot beneath which the soldier lay buried would be abruptly blown out. In the black quiet of the night, if one lay listening, one could hear booted feet tramping up the stairs from the cellar and go thumping along the upstairs halls. In the year 1904, a prominent resident of Newtown, Mrs. Belle Van Sant, wrote of this ghostly house. It is a well authenticated that was a big one, fact that if you walk on the spot where he is buried with a lighted candle, the flame will immediately be extinguished. What say the people who live in the Tate house today? Well, some years ago, a reporter spoke to Mr. James Tempest, a mathematics teacher who was a resident of the house at the time. Today, he is assistant headmaster of George School. He nodded with interest at the story. He replied that there had been a puzzling mystery over the heater in the basement. The pilot light repeatedly went out. Several heaters had been tried and experts called in to examine the matter. There was no draught in the basement, no soot clogged flue. Why the pilot flame went out had puzzled every examiner. Later, a reporter visited the Tate house and spoke to a language instructor who lived on the second floor. Was there still a problem keeping a flame going in the basement heater? She was asked. Someone comes frequently. You just missed the man who was here this morning to look at it. Then she smiled. Ghosts here? She looked up and down the stairs and along the freshly painted walls. There are always creaks and scratchings and newly made cracks in the walls. Perhaps the Hessian spirit comes up from the basement and tries to get free from here once and for all. Up the road, a short distance, stands Sharon, the mansion built by Dr. Tate in 1804. It is an old colonial structure, once surrounded by a jungle of rare trees and shrubs. It was the showplace of Newtown in its day, with glass for its windows brought in from England. Its third story was a near maze of dark closets that stretched under the eaves with doors leading on into other closets. There were also concealed doors entering the loft that extended over the back of the home, a once favorite haunting spot for bats and flying squirrels. Today, especially in the amber hours of early spring sunshine, the campus of George School looks warm and beautiful. The yellow paint on the Tate house and on Sharon join in the bright air to welcome a fresh season. But do not be deceived. The bright steps of students and the humming sounds of passing cars are only one side of the George School campus. There is a dark corner that will not be forgotten, the spot where legend says a revolutionary Hessian soldier lies buried beneath the Tate house. His breath, no matter how the new spring promises to waft, blows chill and deliberate deep down below. He will not allow the smallest light to penetrate his private tomb. And don't try it. You will be no different from all the others. So what you think? Leave a comment down below. I have been on the campus of the George School when my daughter was very young and was a cheerleader. She had an exhibition game out there. So I wasn't necessarily walking around the buildings, but I have been on the said campus. And these buildings that they are talking about, the Sharon and the Tate house, are gorgeous on the outside. They're amazing. And if you like that kind of historical piece, in most of those instances with that type of architecture from that time period is rather beautiful. There was one more I was going to read for you guys. I think it's a quick one. If I can find it now. Okay, yeah. So this is the last one, and then we're going to stop this WIP, right? I'm going to try to get it done while they have a break in banging. This is called Teens in Terror. One summer, not so long ago, an incident occurred at a home not far from the center of New Hope. A 17-year-old boy and his girlfriend were sitting beside his swimming pool. They had just been in for a last dip and were laughing and talking. All their friends had left, and the boy's mother was back at the house preparing dinner. The young couple started to gather up their towels, and suddenly the air around them seemed unusually still. Even the rattle of dishes from the open kitchen door subsided. The last fingers of flesh-colored sunlight pooled at the horizon and then dropped out of sight. The boy and girl were alone. The girl shivered and rubbed her arms. The boy leaned over to pick up a towel from the edge of the pool. His gaze was caught by something thick moving in front of him. A dampness brushed across his face. He felt rooted to the spot with an indescribable terror. He sensed that the girl had stopped rubbing her arms and was standing immobile also. The two stared as though transfixed at a strange object moving along the edge of the pool. It was a pillar of thick white mist. It glided over the pool, then up and down in the water, then lifted up and dragged gently along the pool's edge. It swayed this way and that as though dancing to some unheard rhythm. The boy and girl dropped their towels and ran. Back in the house, none of the family could make sense of what the boy and girl had seen, but the young couple know what they saw and still recall it vividly. Both describe it as happening in precisely the same way. Other teens have seen very special guests too. One young man in the village has told his night terror. He was asleep in his own room when he was awakened in the dead of night by a rustling sound coming from the corner of his room. He opened his eyes slowly, not sure, but he was dreaming his feeling of uncertainty and fright. He heard the sound again. He sat up in bed uneasily. The full moon through his open window shattered the darkness with little spears of silver light. He could make out the outlines of the chairs and his chest of drawers in the half light. Then he saw it, a white shape with little form and of a substance at both thick yet also thin. Like a cloud moved about his chest of drawers in the corner. The one clearly indiscernible feature to the spellbound boy was a head of hair. It was fiery red, set on top of a formless body of milky white substance. The boy leapt from his bed and tore out of his room. He went outside and spent the night in wide awakefulness sitting on the garden wall. He has never seen the sight again, but the memory of that night has never left him. A college senior and his girl told me of their experience. They were sitting in the attic room in New Hope listening to records. Outside, the night was black without a vestige of moon. They saw talking softly and staring into the flames of a lone candle in the room. Suddenly, the candle light lowered and went out. There was no sputtering or fluttering, no draft of air. It appeared to be smothered out of existence as if an unseen hand gently lowered itself down upon it. The two stopped talking. For a moment, the sudden darkness startled them, and they could not say a word. As they sat motionless, a strange thing happened. A shaft of light arose from behind the table where the candle had been burning. It slipped upwards along the wall, then glided across the room. It moved up and down, then sideways. It slipped down the attic stairs, then up again. The boy glanced out the window at the first appearance of the light, believing it to be car lights from the road, but there was nothing outside. Not a sign of a car headlight or the beam of a flashlight from someone passerby's hand. There was only dead blackness beyond the window. It was a moving light similar to that ghost gleam which haunts a famous manor house in England, and which was photographed by a television camera not so long ago. In both cases, the area where the lights appeared was untouched by any outside lights. No explanation in either case can be given. One other case of a ghostly vision was told me by a young girl in Bristol Township. She was visiting a friend in an old home just off Newburyport Road a few years ago. While her hostess was in the shower, the girl sat on her bed setting her hair. Suddenly, she felt the presence of someone in the room. She looked up, and there was a figure of a boy standing in the doorway. He stood perfectly motionless with his hands by his sides. His face was indistinguishable. His whole form was gray and not too clearly defined. After an instant, the figure just vanished. The girl ran to her friend. Was her brother in the house? No, he was away. There was no one else present but the mother downstairs and the two girls. This young girl will never forget her ghost night either. So it is that young people in this valley find as goodly a share of ghostly visitors as any English castle. Yeah, that was cute. Again, I know you guys know my house is haunted by my family, grandparents, grandmothers. And I've seen shadows in my house. I see them all the time. I hear walking upstairs all the time when I'm the only one here. So that's another ghost story for another day. So that being said, guys, I'm going to end this here. We're right at about 45 minutes. Again, on your way out, if you enjoyed this content, hit that notification bell, and subscribe. If you just wanted to come for this one time and check me out, thank you. I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you stop by again. Remember, guys, roar in dinosaur means I love each and every one of y'all, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So that being said, I will catch you on the next one. And most importantly, go birds! Fly, eagles, fly. I will talk to you on the next one. Bye.